Hi everyone, my name's Megan and I wanted to welcome you to Mental Health Storytime presented by the Children's Book Bank. I'm looking forward to reading one book with you today from a series called Knuffle Bunny or Knuffle Bunny. I always say Knuffle Bunny, but I think it's actually Knuffle Bunny, or that's what the author wants us to call it. The author is Mo Willems. He's also the illustrator. I really like these illustrations, and we'll look at them a little bit more detail today. You may recognize the name Mo Willems from books like Don't Let the Pigeon Stay Up Late or Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. Also the Elephant and Piggy books, which I think are so funny and so much fun to read. So I hope you get a chance to look at those as well. So the name is Mo Willems. It says Words and Pictures, which could be author and illustrator by Mo Willems. I'm talking about these pictures. As you can see, he's such a talented artist, or so much fun. I really like these pictures in these books too. I'm going to just show you real quick before I even start talking about these stories. These are like black and white photographs that they have. Mo Willems or one of his friends or someone he's hired took these pictures, and then he draws these other things that I guess he draws on a piece of paper and he colors them, and then he cuts them out somehow, maybe on a computer, maybe with scissors, and glues them right in the picture. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so talking about this series, Knuffle Bunny or Knuffle Bunny. There are 3 books in this series. The main character is this person right here named Trixie, and Trixie has a favorite stuffy named Knuffle Bunny, or that's what she calls it, Knuffle Bunny. So in this one, the very first one, Trixie's just little, and she loses her stuffy, and they have to figure it out. And that's the problem of the story. Knuffle Bunny is lost, and they find it. In the second one, this one's called Knuffle Bunny Too. Not the number 2, but a different 2, like another one, Knuffle Bunny Too. There's no other bunny, but it's just the second story. And in this one, she's a little bit older and she goes to school, and there's a mix-up with her Knuffle Bunny, and that's the problem in the story. This is the one we're going to read today. But I also wanted to show you there's a third one because I think they're so much fun. This one's called Knuffle Bunny Free. Instead of 3, the number 3, free. And guess what? In this one, Knuffle Bunny goes missing too. But they're all a little different, and they're all a little fun. And she grows up through the story. And I think they're pretty great. So let's get to it. Second one, she's on her way to school, and they said there's a mix-up. So, Knuffle Bunny Too, A Case, A Mistaken Identity by Mo Willems. And this book is this is our favorite copy in my room. You can see the end paper, or my house, the end papers are getting a little bit worn out because we've read it so many times. I'm going to just make sure you can see. Knuffle Bunny, A Case of Mistaken Identity. Oh, and there's a page flipping again. One morning, not so long ago, Trixie took a walk with her daddy. By now, Trixie really knew how to talk. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to show Amy, and then I'll show Meg, and then I'll show Margot, and then I'll show Jane, and then I'll show Leela, and then I'll show Rebecca, and then I'll show Noah, and then I'll show Robbie, and then I'll show Toshi, and then I'll show Casey, and then I'll show Connie, and then I'll show Parker, and then I'll show Brian, and talk, and talk. So remember I said this is the second book in the series. The first one, she can't talk, but now she can really talk. Look at this speech bubble. She just has all these people she's so excited to talk to. Trixie was excited because she was taking her one-of-a-kind, no other one like this, one-of-a-kind Knuffle Bunny someplace very special. Come on! This is her dad. They were going to school. Oh, and here's one of those illustrations that I think is so awesome. A photograph of a real place. I can tell there's an American flag It's flag of the United States. So this takes place not in Canada. She's going to school, but then he's done all these little drawings of all these people walking to school. They're going up the stairs, walking down the hallway with their parents. Oh, look, she even has a lunch pail, has a T on it because her name is Trixie. Trixie couldn't wait to show Knuffle Bunny to Miss Greengrove and all her friends in pre-K. There she is, she's walking to school pre-K, so maybe like junior kindergarten. So she might be about 4 in this book. She gets older as you go through the books. There's her teacher. The kids are really excited. But just as her daddy kissed her goodbye, Trixie saw Sonia. And there's Sonia. Look what Sonia has in her hand. What? Look how it like zooms in. There, they're across the room, getting closer, getting closer. Suddenly, Trixie's one-of-a-kind Knuffle Bunny wasn't so one-of-a-kind anymore. The morning did not go well. Look at those looks on their faces. They look so angry. But look at this over the window. It says love. And there they are sitting at the table. Trixie looks really unhappy. And Sonia's like, look at my bunny. Knuffle. 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 Look, they're even disagreeing. Just like I was saying, I don't know, do you say Knuffle or Knuffle? They're disagreeing. How do you say the name? The afternoon was worse. So look, before the afternoon was worse, here you are. See in the background? There's the teacher. The teacher says, listening to them argue in the back. And then she takes the rabbits or the bunnies away. The girls are pretty sad. When the school bell rang, Miss Greengrove returned the Knuffle Bunnies. Whew. Look, they spent the day way up high, but then they got them back at the end. And the day got better. There they are playing on the playground. Playing on the swings, playing in the sandcastle. Then before she knew it, it was time to go home. Trixie ate her dinner, devoured her dessert, brushed her teeth, and tried to escape the Mummy and Daddy robots from Planet Snurp. Oh, that's fun. They're playing pretend together. That's awesome. At past bedtime, Trixie was tucked in. Here she is, half asleep, ready for sleep. But a few hours later, there she is. She's got a smile on her face. She's starting to toss and turn. She wakes up. She looks at the bunny. Trixie realized something. Trixie's daddy tried to explain what 2:30 a.m. means. He asked, "Can we deal with this in the morning?" Now, I know you can't see the illustrations as closely as I can, but there are 2 Knuffle Bunnies in this picture, in this book. One has blue ears, and one has pink ears. They're different, and there was a mix-up. Remember, the teacher took them away, and then the teacher brought them back? I think the teacher may not have recognized that even though they looked a lot alike, they were different. So she said, the dad says, "Really? Honestly, do we have to deal with this in the morning, or do we have to deal with this right now? I was sleeping." And she says, "Yep, we definitely have to work this out right now." He says, looks at his partner, and she's like, "Yep, you better figure this out right now." And Trixie's daddy went to the phone. Before he even made it down the stairs, the phone rang. Bring, bring. So in the middle of the night, that's pretty strange for your phone to ring. And there's a voice. You can see how they've done, the illustrator, Mo Willems, has done these lines around this caption or this speech bubble. It says, "We have your bunny," said a man's voice on the other end. Who could have the bunny? Remember Sonia? And he looks at the bunny. The daddy looks at Trixie's bunny. "We have yours," replied Trixie's daddy. Arrangements were made. So plans were made. And there they are in the middle of the night, half asleep, but they got their coats on. Trixie and her daddy rushed across the neighborhood. Trixie did not want to be late. And neither did Sonia. They live in a big city in the United States. It's called New York City. There was an exchange. Look at the dads. They both have their tongue out like this. They're really concentrating. Gotta make sure we get the right bunny. And then Knuffle bunnies were back where they belonged. "I was so worried about my bunny," said Sonia. "So was I," Trixie replied. Then they both said, "I'm glad you got your bunny back," at the exact same time. And that is how Trixie found her first, and then it has these little dots here, first best friend. And it has this little, as I said, dot, or it's called an asterisk. And it says down here, it says Knuffle Bunny, accepted, of course. It's Knuffle Bunny was her first best friend. The end. And look at that drawing in the chalk on the sidewalk. And it says, "Special thanks. Mo Willems has done a little note to the author, to the reader. Special thanks to the real Trixie and her mummy." So there really is a Trixie. In fact, later on you learn that Mo Willems has a daughter named Trixie, and these books were for her. Now, speaking of daughters, I have 2 daughters, and one of my daughters agreed that I could show her favorite Stuffy. And this Stuffy is called Rabby, because he's a rabbit. You may not have a Stuffy, or you might have a Stuffy, and you might call him something. It might have a different name, of course. You might call it a Lovey, or a stuffed animal, or a Buddy, or something. But this is Rabby, and he's pretty important in our house. Rabby is important because he's always been part of my daughter's life since she was just born. Not everybody has one that they hold on to from the very beginning, but this one is, or this guy or girl, or doesn't matter at all because it's Rabby, has been here from the beginning. He's always there, or she's always there, or they are always there, and they are always there to listen and hold and give comfort when things are rough and things aren't happy. And guess what? Rabby doesn't talk back. When you talk to Rabby, you're not expecting an answer or a solution or advice. You just want someone to listen. And when you have big feelings like something isn't the way it's supposed to be, having someone to just listen is pretty important. So this is Rabby, and I'm really glad he's part of our family. I also wanted to talk about how I thought this was such a great book because Trixie has a problem, and that's really bothers her. And when you have a problem, there are things you can do. And one of the things Trixie does is she goes to her mom and dad, or people that she knows she can trust. It doesn't have to be your mom and dad. It could be a friend, could be a teacher, could be a grandmother or an aunt or uncle. Someone you know can help you and listen, and maybe, as I said, make a plan, because to help you get through that problem. I think that's really important, how she asks her dad for help. And I also really like how Trixie showed empathy with Sonia. Empathy is a word that means that you understand how somebody feels because you've had those same feelings. Maybe right then, like Trixie does, Trixie and Sonia have empathy for each other. Right then and there, they were both missing their Rabbies or their Knuffle bunnies. or Knuffle Bunnies for Sonia. And they showed empathy for each other, which I think is a really important thing for us to practice. To know that there are lots of people who are having a hard time, and we can let them know by trying to help. Let them know that we care for them by listening, like Ravi does. Just listen. Or we can give them a plan or help them find a solution. Anyway, thank you so much for joining the Mental Health Storytime with Children's Book Bank. I'm Megan, and I was really happy to have you read with me today. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.